The whitewashed buildings of Oahe glowed like pearls in the fading light. I stood on the caldera's edge, the Aegean Sea stretching out before me in a breathtaking panorama of blues and oranges. This solo trip to Santorini was exactly what I needed, a chance to breathe, to soak in the beauty, to find myself again. The air was warm, carrying the scent of salt and distant flowers. The sunset was painting the sky in hues I had never seen before, a masterpiece unfolding in slow motion. I had found a quiet spot away from the main crowds, a little nook carved into the cliffside. The silence was broken only by the gentle lapping of waves far below and the occasional soft breeze. I closed my eyes for a moment, letting the warmth of the sun on my face and the tranquility of the place wash over me. Then, I heard a voice. "It's quite a view, isn't it?" I opened my eyes, a little startled. Standing a few feet away was a man. He was tall with dark tousled hair that looked kissed by the sun. His eyes were a striking shade of green, and they held a warmth that mirrored the sunset. He had a kind smile that crinkled the corners of his eyes. "It is," I replied, a little breathless. "Absolutely stunning." "Are you here alone?" he asked, his voice a low melodic rumble. "I am," I said. "Just taking some time for myself." "Me too," he said. "Though I'm starting to think maybe some views are better shared." His eyes met mine, and there was a spark there, a connection that felt instant and undeniable. "Are you with me? Type 1 in the comments to let me know you're still watching." We fell into conversation easily, as if we had known each other for years. He told me his name was Nikos, and he was a local born and raised on the island. He spoke with a passion about Santorini, about its history, its culture, its hidden gems. I found myself completely captivated by his stories, by his easy laugh, by the way his eyes lit up when he talked about his home. As the last sliver of sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the caldera, Nikos suggested we walk down to a quieter part of the island, a little taverna he knew that overlooked the sea. I readily agreed. There was something about him, an energy, an unspoken pull that I couldn't ignore. The path down was winding and narrow, lit only by the soft glow of the rising moon. Nikos walked close beside me, his hand occasionally brushing against mine. Each accidental touch sent a little jolt of electricity through me. We reached the taverna, a charming little place with whitewashed walls and blue shutters. It was tucked away from the main tourist areas, and the only sound was the gentle music playing softly in the background and the murmur of a few other couples enjoying the evening. We sat at a table overlooking the dark, shimmering sea. Nikos ordered some local wine and mise, and we continued to talk, sharing stories about our lives, our travels, our dreams. With every shared laugh, every exchanged glance, I felt a deeper connection forming between us. Have you ever felt an instant connection with someone you just met? Could you share your thoughts in the comments? As the night deepened, the conversation turned more personal, more intimate. Nikos spoke about the beauty he found in simple things, in the rhythm of the sea, in the warmth of the sun. There was a depth to him, a sensitivity that resonated with me deeply. I found myself opening up to him in ways I hadn't expected, sharing vulnerabilities and dreams I usually kept hidden. There was a sense of trust that had blossomed quickly between us, a feeling of being seen and understood. The wine flowed, the food was delicious, but it was the connection with Nikos that truly made the evening magical. There was a palpable energy between us, a silent understanding that transcended words. Then, he reached across the table and gently took my hand. His touch was warm, his fingers intertwining with mine. His eyes held a tenderness that made my heart skip a beat. "Chloe," he said softly, his voice a low whisper. "I feel like I've known you forever." I smiled, my heart swelling with a feeling I couldn't quite name. It was more than just attraction, it was a sense of recognition, of finding something unexpected and beautiful. Me too, Nikos, I replied, my voice barely above a whisper. His thumb gently stroked the back of my hand. The silence between us was comfortable, filled with unspoken feelings. The moonlight danced on the water, creating a shimmering path that seemed to lead to endless possibilities. Still with me? Drop a yes in the comments to let me know you're tuned in. As the night drew to a close, Nikos walked me back to my hotel. The air was cool now, carrying the scent of night-blooming jasmine. The silence between us was comfortable, filled with a quiet anticipation. When we reached the door, he turned to face me, his eyes searching mine in the soft moonlight. He gently reached out and brushed a stray strand of hair from my face. His touch was feather-light, sending a shiver down my spine. "I don't want this night to end," he murmured, his voice husky with emotion. My heart pounded in my chest. I didn't want it to end either. There was a pull towards him, a desire to explore this unexpected connection further. "Me neither," I whispered. He leaned in slowly, his eyes never leaving mine. His lips were soft and warm against mine, a gentle kiss that spoke volumes. It was a kiss filled with tenderness, with a hint of longing, with the promise of something more. The kiss deepened, and I found myself leaning into him, my arms wrapping around his waist. The world around us seemed to fade away, and there was only the two of us, lost in the moment. Have you ever experienced a kiss that felt like it could change everything? Share your story in the comments below. The next few days in Santorini were like a dream. Nikos showed me hidden corners of the island, places only a local would know. We swam in crystal-clear waters, explored ancient ruins, and watched more breathtaking sunsets together. Every moment we spent together felt charged with a sensual energy, a silent understanding that grew stronger with each passing day. There were stolen glances, lingering touches, whispered secrets under the starlit sky. One evening, we found ourselves on a secluded beach, the only sound the gentle rhythm of the waves. We lay on a blanket, gazing up at the millions of stars that filled the night sky. Nikos turned to me, his eyes filled with a love that felt both new and ancient. He gently took my hand and brought it to his lips, kissing my palm softly. His touch sent a wave of warmth through me. He then traced the lines on my hand with his finger, his gaze intense and loving. "Chloe," he whispered, his voice thick with emotion. "I feel like our paths were meant to cross here, under this sky." I turned to him, my heart overflowing. I felt it too, this undeniable connection, this feeling that something truly special was happening between us. He leaned in and kissed me again, a long, slow, passionate kiss that left me breathless. The warmth of his body against mine, the taste of salt on his lips, the feeling of his hand in mine, every sensation was heightened, amplified by the beauty of our surroundings and the intensity of our feelings. What's the most romantic place you've ever been? Tell us in the comments. The days that followed were filled with similar moments of intense connection and growing intimacy. There was a natural progression to our relationship, a sense of comfort and trust that allowed us to explore our desires and our vulnerabilities. One afternoon, back in my hotel room, the air thick with the heat of the Santorini sun, Nikos and I found ourselves wrapped in each other's arms. The conversation had faded into soft whispers, and the whispers had turned into gentle touches. His hands explored my skin with a reverence that made me feel cherished and desired. Every touch was deliberate, unhurried, building a slow burn of anticipation within me. His lips followed the path of his hands, leaving a trail of fire in their wake. The world outside seemed to disappear, and there was only the two of us, lost in a world of sensation. The intensity of the moment built slowly, like the Santorini sunset, each touch, each kiss adding another layer of heat and desire. It was a dance of exploration and discovery, a merging of two souls in a moment of pure connection. Have you ever felt completely lost in a moment with someone? Describe it in the comments. The memories of those days in Santorini, of the unexpected encounter with Nikos, of the intense connection we shared, will stay with me forever. It was a serendipitous moment, a chance meeting that blossomed into something truly special. If you enjoyed this story and the feeling of escaping to a beautiful new place, then make sure to subscribe to my channel.